Hey everybody, this is Chris Petrocchi, and I wanted to talk to you about a fantastic tool for drawing portraits, characters, and concept art, and it's called the rhythm of the head, or the Reilly abstraction. So you can see I've got the planes of the head and the rhythms of the head here on this diagram, and we've covered the planes of the head in a previous video. So I'm going to concentrate on the rhythms of the head. So why is it called rhythms of the head? Well, what's the definition of a rhythm? It's a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement. And that's just what we have here. When we're drawing the head, it's quite complex. And the planes of the head help us out, and also the rhythms of the head help us out, because we've got muscle and bone underneath the surface of the skin that plays into this. And so the head is bilaterally symmetrical, and so it's the same on the left as it is on the right. And so we've got to get that correct. And the rhythms help you kind of track one thing from one side to the next. And it's really handy. And once you jump in and commit it to memory, then you can draw the head without thinking, really. It's helps your confidence. It helped my confidence so much, and yet I resisted it. I learned this from Glenn Orbick, who is a fantastic portrait artist and teacher. And once I committed it to memory, and you have to do it half a dozen times or so to commit it to memory, then really you can get beautiful portraits quicker. You can innovate and create things for concept art and even caricatures. So it's a wonderful tool. And yet it looks like a tangle of lines, and I didn't understand this at first, and so I resisted it because it aesthetically it wasn't pleasing, and I'm a tone guy, so I wanted everything to look just tonally beautiful when I did a drawing. I didn't want those lines there, but that was because I didn't really understand what it was for. But once I understood that it was really a diagram or an analysis of the structure and the foundation of the head underneath the skin, then it was a great guide. And if you draw things lightly, they'll be covered up by the end of the drawing and you won't see them. And so no lighting situation, no one lighting situation is going to show you all the rhythms or planes of the head. And so you have to sort of understand whatever lighting situation that you're in, you'll use some of these lines and some of these rhythms to help you show off the face in that lighting condition. And so you don't need to use all of them. So that's one thing. And so you'll see that there's a 3/4 view missing here, and I'm going to take you through the front 3/4 and side steps on how to do the rhythms of the head. So let's get started. Okay, so the oval is the quick start from the front, 3 units high to 2 units wide, and we established the eyes are in the center, forehead is just, or brows just below, above that, halfway from the chin is the nose, and the eyes and the ears fit in that middle third between the brow and the chin, and then swinging a couple of C curves off will separate the front plane of the head from the side plane of the head, and then I can swing a couple of rhythms from the helix of the ear right down to where the mouth would be, or the split of the lips. And then I'm going to find the rhythm of the nose and build the eye sockets from there. So swinging a C curve for the brow, and then building the glabella there, and the eyeballs fitting one side to the next, and then finishing off the eye socket, and just checking and refining. And we have the rhythm of the mouth, or the tooth cylinder, or barrel of the mouth, you can call it. And then I can find the jaw on either side and the rhythm of the chin. And then we'll bring the muzzle on either side, left and right, and also called the nasal labial fold. And I learned that from an art director when I was working at Electronic Arts, that term, nasal labial fold, very interesting term. So then again, pulling rhythms off the helix right down to the lips and then swinging around for the top lip. And then you can bring another rhythm from that helix at the top of the ear all the way down to the chin, separating the front of the chin from the back part of the chin and the brow of the superciliary arch and glabella on top. And then refining the nose and nostrils, and then finding the split of the lips, finding the edges of the sutures of the mouth from the middle of the eye, drawing a perpendicular line down. And then we can, from the nostrils, draw straight down to the corners of the front of the chin box to find the apex of the lips at the tubercle. And then just getting the neck in here. You always want to draw the head connected and draw the neck. If you don't draw the neck, it looks like it's just floating. So we found the sternal notch, clavicle or shoulder, or and then the trapezius behind. And then we have the rhythm of the forehead, and always refining and improving and adjusting as you go, and then connecting the head to the neck, to the clavicle there, to the sternal notch. The more your connections are valid and solid, the more valid and convincing your head drawing will be. So quite a few steps there. And again, you have to do it a few times to commit it to memory. So now I'm just swinging over horizontal lines to get my proportions correct, and from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, so we can do a profile or side view. And so the head fits in a box roughly, not including the nose or the hairstyle. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and get the basic proportions down of the brow, nose, and chin. And the ear is going to fit in that middle third on the back half. Doesn't sit quite in the center, but a little bit off towards the back of the head. And then I'm going to get the chin in with the Adam's apple and going down to the sternal notch. So underneath the chin is the digastric plane, and it's kind of a triangular or trapezoid shape. And then from the brow, I'm going to swing down an arc or a curve to the masseter, to the jaw, so I can find that plane where I can lay in the eyeball, build the eye socket. We also lay in the two-cylinder or muzzle of the mouth, the nose, and front part of the cheek. And then from there we can swing a curve around and find the side plane of the head, and then the muzzle of the mouth, or the laugh lines actually, or two-cylinder. And then the muzzle of the mouth, that rhythm there. Swinging the arc from the helix to the end of the mouth, and then another one separating the front half of the jaw from the back half of the jaw. And the rhythm of the chin, the plane of the wing of the nose. It's really helpful just to draw the plane and not the nose hole itself. Then we have the eyeball. It sits back in the eye socket, so if we build that correctly, it'll look like we're constructing it properly. And then we can pull the eyelids over the eyeball and really build it so it's solid, valid, and convincing. Split of the lips, mascular node, and the bottom lip, all fitting in the in the appropriate place. And then we've got the zygomatic arch, top of that, and just refining the top lip and split of the lip there. So again, I've committed to, these moves, they're kind of stock moves that you don't even think about eventually. They're like a tennis player doing forehands and backhands, or a jiu-jitsu guy going for an arm bar. You just do it, right? And it just makes life a lot easier. Putting in the ear, putting in the helix, the concha, which is in the middle of the ear, and then that lower third of the ear is the and then the sternocleidomastoid, connecting to cervical 7 or C7 in the back of the spine. So as I was saying about the ear, the bottom third of the ear is the tragus and the antitragus. It's that cartilaginous part of the ear, the lower part of the ear. All right, so we're going for the 3/4 now, and I covered how to put in a head at 3/4 in a previous video. But I've got the hairline, the center is where the eyes are, and just above that is the forehead. And I'm going to swing those C curves out to separate the front of the forehead from the side of the head, side plane of the head, and separating those major planes, doing a lot of work for me. And that ear is going to sit in that middle third and touch the back part of the arc of the skull there. And then I'm going to swing in an arc for the forehead and steps back to get the visor of the head, or the visor of the orbital plane for the eye. Then those C curves swinging from the helix of the ear. And I forgot to do that on the profile there. You can see it's missing. And then we've got the nose, which is like a prism. And finding the lower lip and the beginning of the chin and the chin rhythm. Checking proportions. Drawing that front plane and side plane of the prism of the nose. And then we've got the rhythm of the nose. And I remember the first time I saw the rhythm of the nose, it was this, I was an airline stewardess on a plane, and she asked me what I wanted to drink, and I looked up and she crinkled her nose, and I saw that rhythm of the nose, and I go, there it is. It's awesome. Now I'll never forget that. And you'll make those discoveries too. You'll see them as you're drawing people in life drawing class, or just in Starbucks, or wherever you happen to be. You'll see these things emerge and they'll lock in and you'll never forget them. So I've got the muzzle, and I've got the laugh lines, or the rhythm of the mouth, and just a simple circular shape. Split of the lips, and it connects, laugh lines connect to the top part of the wing of the nose and down to the space between the lower lip and the top of the chin. This is how I kind of drew everything. Was lead character artist on the Godfather game, and I started this way for so many of the characters. It just was so helpful and enabled me to get the characters down quick because you're under a tight deadline. And it definitely increased my workflow and my efficiency probably by 40-50%. All right, so we've got that zygomatic arch of the cheek, and fitting into the laugh line, and there the overlaps of the zygomatic arch behind the muzzle of the mouth, making that overlap clear, really sells the dimensionality of it. Again, going for the ear, the helix in the top third of the ear, the concha in the middle, and the tragus and antitragus in the lower third, and then clarifying the rhythm of that forehead or the glabella. Then we have the lip there with the tubercle or that Cupid's bow. Anytime you put a tubercle into the lips, it instantly says lips and mouth, and you don't have to work that hard. And then we've got I'm going to put the neck on pretty soon, and then we have to connect the lower part of the jaw to the top of the neck with the digastric plane, and then pulling the sternocleidomastoid down into the sternal notch and the trapezius, or the sagging triangle muscle from sagging shrugging muscle from behind there, all connecting in, and we're getting there. Just refining that upper lip, putting the tubercle in right there, or Cupid's bow. And once you combine the Reilly rhythms with the construction, the planes of the head, you will be amazed at how much you can do, how simple it is, and how you're free to start creating and innovating new things. You're not inhibited by technical things. Now you're able to really move forward and express yourself, your vision, your feelings, your character design, your caricatures, or your portraits, especially painting those beautiful portraits. Another guy who does this is Nathan Fowkes. He starts with orange pencil and does the rhythms, and then goes in with charcoal. He paints beautiful portraits. All right, so that's all we have time for. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on the rhythms of the head, the Reilly abstraction. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next time. Look forward to seeing you. Take care. Bye-bye.